The bicep muscle is very susceptible to injuries when big loads are applied to it, when it's either stretched out or being stretched out fast, especially when the wrist is supinated. Levon is very strong, and Devon knew the risks of his technique choices and decided to go for it anyway. Devon's tapering protocol is a factor too. Based on what he said, he's been tapering down for as long as 6 to 8 weeks, meaning no heavy loads and heavy table time. I could be wrong, but I'm finding it very hard to believe that avoiding heavy loads for such a long time before expecting the muscles to handle at max effort is beneficial to either strength or injury prevention. There is a balance between training heavy loads and healing tendons, but even a perfect balance wasn't going to condition tendons and muscle to hold Levon. Devon's mistake was not letting up when the pressure was too high. It's a testament to his determination, but it also cost him. Levon's insane cupping strength played a factor. Levon looked like he completely squashed down Devon's pronation and had him totally in a palm-up position. Being totally palm-up like that while trying to lock in a king's move seems like it would be particularly dangerous, especially when you have a guy as strong as Levon trying to pin you. Something just has to give. Devon was not supposed to continue pulling after the 2-end round. Bicep tear is a serious and very painful injury. It is unbelievable how he was able to continue for 4 more rounds, as the pain must have been unbearable, and he was most likely aware that he is risking to completely rip off his bicep. The crazy man was truly ready to break his arm for this match. Given that he feels pain in his biceps muscle belly and not at the biceps tendon attachments at the elbow or shoulder, I suspect that it's more of a muscle tear at the muscle fibers of the biceps or brachialis, and not a biceps tendon tear at the elbow or shoulder. Muscles tears hurt like fuck and more than tendon tears, but they heal more easily, which is a good thing for Devon. You could see that after the 1st round he was laughing, super happy and optimistic. The 2-end round went unexpectedly fast compared to the first one, and after that, he wasn't smiling anymore. You could see from the terror on his face that something bad happened. The initial match occurred 2 years ago, where Devon managed to secure a stop in round 1 upon reviewing. Unfortunately, his biceps suffered a tear in round 2, rendering the match irrelevant for reference. Contrary to the misconception that Levon's strength caused the injury, it likely resulted from overuse and chance, not solely Levon's strength. Devon has faced opponents stronger than himself before. Over the past 2 years, Devon has significantly improved his strength, while Levon has experienced a decline, evidenced by his wrist injury, causing him to cease training. It's caused by the muscle being stronger than the connective tissue in your own body. No matter how strong the thing pulling on your arm is, it can always just let go to not tear itself. People can hold on to the back of a vehicle and feet strapped to the ground, and it'll drive away and you will let go before your bicep tears for any normal person. Despite Levon still being stronger overall, Devon's recent victories over formidable opponents indicate a narrowing gap. Additionally, activity plays a crucial role, with Levon having remained inactive since February 2023, whereas Devon has been consistently competing and defeating opponents, highlighting the importance of activity even for top athletes like Levon. Levon sustained a left wrist injury years ago, which appears to have never fully recovered despite his reported use of performance-enhancing drugs. Even now, he has avoided heavy cupping movements with his right wrist, suggesting it's still not fully healed. In any sport, activity is crucial for improvement, a principle evident across various disciplines. Devon's consistent activity has contributed to his strength and skill development. Facing top opponents last year, his loss to Gennady proved particularly instructive, offering valuable lessons for improvement. Devon's refusal to dwell on refereeing issues, though valid, demonstrates his focus on factors he can control to enhance his performance. Levon's inactivity due to injury contrasts with Devon's active participation. Despite being pushed by Hermes in their last encounter, Levon remains a significant favorite due to his dominance over opponents, including Devon. Anticipating a competitive match, both athletes are likely preparing diligently. Levon may have gleaned insights from the Hermes match, possibly adapting his strategy if faced with fatigue, akin to the adjustments seen in other matches. While Levon holds the edge, the bout promises to be a highlight of the sport, pitting the current top two contenders against each other. Devon got stronger, but the showing versus Georgie was actually less dominant than you would hope to see. He wasn't able to do anything offensively until Georgie gassed, and he was only able to hold Georgie just enough center table. If Levon brings him close to the pad, holding on is a very different story. Levon has had more than enough time to get back in shape, especially because recovery and healing of injuries is also enhanced by pancakes and stem cells. And based on his training videos, he should get close to his peak if not higher by April. For the injury it happened because Devon knew he wasn't strong enough and had to commit from the beginning. Like he said multiple times, either I win or I get injured. If I lose without getting injured, I will be disappointed. It's not bad luck. He wanted to destroy his body. He even tried to break his arm after his bicep tour. Committing like Devon did is okay when there isn't a huge gap, but it wasn't the case with Levon. A big question will be whether or not Devon has found the perfect opening against Levon. How accurate is he in saying that riser will determine the fight? If he's correct and he is able to eventually win height against Levon, it could be a very interesting match. After the first round, Devon seemed to genuinely believe he was going to win the match based on what he felt. Then the injury happened. Devon, being so active and having learnt a lot from his previous losses, has a lesser chance of biceps injury. Levon, on the other hand, is making a comeback and hasn't had any matches thus far. The problem is, and what Devon illustrated in his training, that it's very hard to train for that kind of strength without risking injury. Devon tried his best to get ready without injuring himself, but the strength gap was too much. Even if his training was perfect, it was taking too long to build up that mass. This is a combination of Levon and his inhumane strength, and the fact that Devon did a huge cycle at 47 years old. Hermes is a perfect measuring unit to get an idea of the strength gap between Devon and Levon. Hermes has insane back pressure. That back pressure allowed him to stop Levon, even though he lost wrist. Levon doesn't have a press, so he simply tried to power through Hermes' press in a very inefficient manner. Hermes tried the same on Devon after losing wrist, but Devon had transitioned to counter press in his arsenal. And when someone is able to press while having both wrist control and fully committed shoulder, no amount of back pressure will save you. That maybe means Devon's press is stronger than Levon's side pressure. As of round 3, by that point, all the frustration and adrenaline made Hermes fatigued, while Devon was still fresh and explosive. Bottom line, efficiency is the key difference. Devon can do more with less.